Okay. Alright. Tonight I'm going to be discussing the issues of the death penalty. I don't know what stance you guys have in the death penalty, but I am opposing it. On the 50 states that there are 37 states that allow and implement the death penalty. The reason I oppose it is for three different basic reasons. The deaths of innocent people, the professional opinions, statistics, and research that have been done on the death penalty, and the cost of death penalty versus other methods. Since 1976, these states that allow the death penalty have executed a total of 1,100 people. 600 of these were just executed in the last 10 years. It is my belief that a substantial amount of these convicted women and men were innocent. Since 1973, over 120 people have been released from death row due to evidence of their innocence. This unacceptable amount of errors is the result for the mistrust of the legal system that people have, and alone shows the truth about the death penalty. The death penalty has taken 22 people's lives of who committed crimes when they were juveniles. These are the people that are considered to be too young and mentally undeveloped to purchase alcohol and cigarettes, but yet they're sentenced to the death penalty. In addition to the adolescents of our nation, there are also mentally ill people that have been executed for crimes. It wasn't until 2002 that the Supreme Court held in Atkins v. Virginia ruled that it is unconstitutional to execute defendants with mental retardation. Along with this, there are many police and legal people in our legal system who oppose the death penalty as well. In a Hart research poll, the majority of police chiefs do not believe that the death penalty is an effective law enforcement tool. There are also criminologists of America showed only 4% of criminologists find the death penalty to be effective. And the death penalty is not a deterrent, which means that just because you have the death penalty does not mean that the crime rate will go down. Reports show that in the South there is the highest murder rate, which also has the highest execution rate. And the Northeast has the lowest murder rate and the least amount of executions. The cost of the death penalty is much more than other methods. In 1992, death penalty case cost taxpayers an average of $2.3 million, which is 3 times cost of imprisoning someone in a single cell at the highest security level for 40 years. In Kansas, the cost of capital cases are 70% more expensive than comparable non-capital cases, which makes these executions more expensive for those people who live in that state. In conclusion, these are all unarguable facts that show the cons of the death penalty. Though these facts are out there, some still choose to support the form of punishment. Our President Bush supports the death penalty. And when he was a governor in Texas for 6 years, he presided over 152 executions, which happens to be more than any other governor in the recent history of the U.S. Of his 152 executions, there are 9 that are strongly believed to be innocent. Bush was quoted to say, "The death penalty enforces the laws by issuing strict punishment to the offenders." The only problem with this is that this only strict form of punishment is irreversible. You can't go back and change those people. You can't you can't bring them back to life, basically. Some people are all about an eye for an eye, but if our courts are going to take that literally in the case of murder, they must go back and execute all that are involved with the prosecution, the conviction, and the execution of someone who was later found to be innocent. Because in reality, they played a hand in the murder of an innocent person. It's impossible to know exactly how many people have lost their lives in executions that were innocent. But until there is a way to show a person's guilt with absolutely no questions, I firmly believe that the death sentence should be abolished. And if you believe this too, you could also write your governor or your congressman and ask them to come up with a proposition that will abolish the death sentence. Or you could also vote for the president that you think is more against the death penalty. And that's all for tonight. Thank you.